Pills, crack, tons of weed, pounds.
Oh wow, man! What program? You making it like funny because I'm going to jail or something?
I'm not making it funny.
You did. You just said you're going to jail. You have no bond. What's funny about it? Why am I being difficult?
How am I making a joke?
No, you guys don't take things personally.
Oh no, I don't.
Everybody that has a badge is like you guys. They ain't like that.
On August 13th, 2024, officers from the Illinois Department of Corrections conducted a parole compliance check on Nicholas Pouncey, a convicted felon on active parole for a prior weapons offense released from custody approximately 4 months earlier. 90 seconds after entering the residence at Braintree Court in Grundy County, the word routine stopped applying. The first legal question is whether officers had authority to enter and search without a warrant. The answer is yes, and the basis is Samson v. California, decided by the Supreme Court in 2006. That ruling established that parolees hold a significantly diminished expectation of privacy and may be subject to warrantless searches as a condition of release, even without individualized suspicion. Illinois parole conditions under 730 ILCS 5337 require the parolee to consent to search of his person, property, and residence. The parole agreement was the authorization. No warrant was needed.
Yo.
I got heat downstairs for a hot second.
Yep. What is it?
Bag of pills.
Oh, is there? I need all that crack too. Tons of crack. Alright, let me grab my sergeant. These are them perk 30 fentanyl pills. We're gonna have to, and then there's them perk 30, them blue M30s, and then this is all, looks to be all crack with a vacuum sealer. Oh, that's the sealer. What is that? Is that a credit card reader? We're gonna have to interview him. Yeah, there's a safe in his room. He says it's not his.
Nick, is that your safe up there? That's your safe up there? Where? In your room, then. It's not your safe.
No, I just moved into that room.
You want this?
Let me get a picture of it first. We got.
So it says hydrocodone. It's definitely not in his name, and there's different kinds of pills in here.
Okay.
And then there's pills. There's medication for Kiara. I know she was moved out, but
Yeah, they have she's got an order of protection against them. Picture of his ID. It'd be great if we could find a pill in here to match some of the pills that are in the basement to tie hold.
Just pills in the basement.
Pills, crack, tons of weed, pounds.
oh wow, man!
Yep. Awesome. So these are the same.
And he scratched off the name on this.
These are the same pills that are downstairs. These Xanax pills.
Yep, that's what it looked like to me. Then I thought.
So this might be the mother load, huh?
A good one. Yeah.
So I just give you all the pills.
I don't know if that's hers or not.
It's a Ruger. It's not the one that's missing.
Oh.
We'll run
You
it.
can't get in that safe thing? No.
Thinking, so in his room, he's got a pill bottle that doesn't have his name on it that has them same white bars that are in the basement.
And we found his middle school diploma in the basement.
The pills officers identified in the basement are blue M30 counterfeit oxycodone tablets, frequently pressed with fentanyl and sold at high street value. Their presence alongside a vacuum sealer and a credit card reader does not suggest personal use. Under 720 ILCS 570, Section 4, 01 possession with intent to deliver requires proof of quantity and circumstantial evidence of distribution. Both elements are documented on this camera. The Ruger 9mm found in the bedroom closet elevates this encounter beyond narcotics. Officers confirmed on camera it was reported stolen out of Channahon. For a convicted felon, the presence of any firearm or ammunition within an area under his control is a standalone felony under 720. ILCS 524 1.1. The statute does not require the weapon to be in the defendant's hand. It requires only that he knowingly possessed it, and under Illinois constructive possession doctrine, proximity and access are sufficient to establish that element. The Illinois Supreme Court established in People v. McLaurin that constructive possession requires two things: knowledge of the contraband's presence and immediate control over the area where it was found. Pouncey's own middle school diploma was recovered from the basement next to the cache and the drug cache. That single item links him by identity to that specific space, and it is exactly the kind of circumstantial evidence that supports a constructive possession charge at trial. The homeowner's claim that the Ruger belonged to a former boyfriend creates a factual dispute, but it does not dissolve the legal analysis. Under Georgia v. Randolph, a physically present co-occupant may refuse consent to a general search. However, parole compliance authority operates independently of co-occupant consent. Officers were lawfully present under Samson regardless of what any other resident said. That distinction matters enormously at any suppression hearing.
Okay.
I took a picture of it.
Alright. With the pills, and he's got a bag of weed. I think we take him on it.
Yeah, I think it's in this room.
Right. There is ammo down there. They said it's not even supposed to be in the house with him.
No, not just put it out. So we could.
So even if mom has a FOID card, what's the...
He gotta go. He can't stay ever again.
Okay.
Oh.
I just don't know how that face comes through. That face comes off in the key, but I don't know how that face comes off. There's a screwdriver. There's a little screw under it. It looked like it was Phillips.
That pops off that safe.
It pops off the top and then the keys.
No, so that gun was stolen out of Shanahan. That's the one that was reported stolen by the...
No, he's
Right,
saying
but the serial number's on the frame. Like, that's the gun part that's regulated. So
Yeah.
you buy the polymer blanks. Take
So
the
they-
slide off.
Take the slide off.
Right,
That's where it
they're
looks
the
like.
suspect of the stolen. It was left in
Yeah.
his house.
Yeah.
So I want to know where the slide is for that, but I don't want to bring out that to mom yet.
Right.
Hey, Mom, they want to talk to you again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Kimberly. Sorry to keep bugging you. I know you told me before you're not supposed to have guns in the house. So whose Ruger is in your bedroom closet? There's a Ruger 9mm in there in a bag, but we're not supposed to have those in the house, right? Let me. I'm gonna give you the phone back. So the other gun, she says, is her ex-boyfriend who gave it to her and moved out, and she forgot it was here. That she described it. She's like, oh, it's in a black bag that says pink on it. I said, yeah. She's like, that's my ex-boyfriend's. He keeps his gun in a Victoria's Secret pink bag.
Okay, I'm not playing these stupid ass. You're going to jail? What doesn't matter? You're going to jail. You're right. All right, what do I do? And you're going to issue a no bond warrant as for a parole violation. So we could deal with that. You could play difficult.
You got a card?
Or you could just go along with the program and.
What program? You're making it like funny because I'm going to jail or something.
I'm not making it funny.
You did. You just said you're going to jail. You have no bond. What's funny about it? Why am I being difficult?
How am I making a joke? I'm not making a joke.
All right, listen. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and her present with you while you are being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can consent at any time to exercise these rights, not answer any questions and make any statements. Do you understand the rights I've just read to you?
You don't understand? You can ask for an attorney, but he's just asking if you understand your rights. Show me
Right,
that.
G19. Listen, man. Nobody here thinks that you're a bad dude.
Obviously, he does.
Well,
Like, it's funny.
he's frustrated, man, because we've been playing games since we've been here, okay? But there are some things that you're going to have to answer to. That's all it is right now.
Like we don't take things personal, but we have a job to do. All right?
You guys don't.
Huh?
You guys don't.
I don't what?
You guys don't.
Have a job to do?
No, you guys don't take things personal.
Oh no, I don't.
Everybody that has a badge isn't like you guys. He ain't like y'all.
That's like I said, man. I've been decent with you, talking to both of you guys. Well,
Yeah,
you know,
it's not y'all, it's him.
I know. So I'm just, hey Nick, did you understand what he read to you though? Yeah.
And now, if you don't want to talk to us, by all means, man, just request a lawyer. You don't have to answer any question. That's fine. But
If you do want to talk to us, let me know.
At the 5-minute 33 mark, an officer reads Miranda rights from a card covering all 4 required advisements. The right to remain silent that anything said may be used in court, the right to have an attorney present, and the right to appointed counsel if the subject cannot afford one. This is full compliance with Miranda v. Arizona 1966. The advisement was complete, delivered before further questioning, and captured on camera, creating a clean evidentiary record. Pouncey does not clearly invoke his right to silence or request an attorney. He continues talking. Under Berghuis v. Thompkins, decided by the Supreme Court in 2010, a suspect who keeps speaking after receiving Miranda warnings without unambiguously invoking his rights has not ended the interrogation. Mere ambivalence does not constitute invocation. Every statement Pouncey made after that card was read is now part of the prosecution's evidentiary record, and officers were not required to stop. Pouncey disputes the phone search on camera, arguing he never consented to officers reviewing his device. As a parolee, this argument faces a steep legal threshold. Illinois parole conditions require cooperation with and access to electronic devices as a standard term of release. This is legally distinct from Riley v. California in 2014, which requires a warrant to search a cell phone for non-parolees. Parolee status changes the Fourth Amendment calculus entirely. The parole condition not voluntary consent controls here.
I don't see
And it'll be me.
I don't see it. I don't even see why does he have my phone going through it too, and I gave my phone to IDOC. I didn't even give them consent. They told me that I had. They made me give it to him.
Okay, well, I'll have to talk to, I'll talk to them,
I
okay?
see freely. He still has my phone, just freely going
Okay,
through it.
I'll talk to him about
I
it.
don't want him to have my
Okay.
phone. Like, you guys go get it. Like,
Yes,
it's my
just-
property. I never
okay.
gave consent for it. He's saying it
Okay.
on camera like I gave consent for you guys to have
Did
my
you give
phone.
consent?
You gave consent to IDOC.
IDOC.
I gave them the password. I never told them that they can go through my phone. I gave them the
Based off
password to it.
of your
I
parole.
never gave. I never gave him. He still has my phone now. Like, I want you guys to go get it. Like, he
Okay.
just walked off with it. Like, he could be putting something on my phone. He could be taking stuff off
So
of my phone. He could be doing anything.
He's
with my
not.
phone.
Everything we do is on camera, man.
But he's not on
So-
camera with my phone right here.
Yeah, he's got one on. So, like I said, man, if you want to talk to us, you can pick who you want to talk to. If you want to talk to me, you talk to me. You want to talk to that dude, you talk to that
Can
dude.
you tell me what I'm being charged?
Right now, possession of controlled substance,
Which is what?
which is the pills and stuff you had
I don't even.
in your dresser or in your room.
Listen, it was a bunch of medicine bottles up there. I never touched them, looked at them. Those medicine
Okay.
bottles,
They was there when he got
They
home.
got that from. So listen, the co-defendant that I'm on Grundy County with, Kiara Rosario, is the mother of my child. I'm on electronic monitoring because of her.
Okay.
From a case that she was charged with 2 years ago.
Have you been charged with that case?
Yeah, I'm now charged with it 2 years later because she said that I was with her. I was never with her. And all of this is a plan to take my son away from me. As soon as she thought I'd never get out, as soon as I got out and I got my son, she filed a bogus order of protection against me. Now my son's a protected person, and I have a parentage civil case I just filed against her. Like, all of this is her. Like, the old medicine bottles up there, they came with her. I never looked at them. Like, how often do you go and look?
When was the last time she was here?
When I was incarcerated, literally like 6-7 months ago.
Okay, how long you been out?
Like 4
5 months?
4
or 5 months?
Since April.
It's April 15th.
She lived here like 2-3 months before I.
So you've been in that room for the last since April?
Never looked through never looked through the medicine, old medicine bottles, and I never have. Honestly, I never looked through none of that
Which
stuff.
were right in the front of your dresser?
And then we're in the front of my dresser. In the vanity you see, it's all old stuff in there. Old body wash, old cologne, old stuff. Like, I never looked at it. Like, even old pill bottles with her name on it. I always thought that all the pill bottles were hers. So I never looked.
All right, well, here's the deal, man. When they get here, they're going to take you over to the sheriff's office. If you want to talk to me there, I will talk to you, or he will talk to you. Okay?
I gotta take a. I gotta go to the bathroom.
What do you got to do?
Number 2. I gotta keep my cuffs on.
In the front.
Listen, man, just be cool, okay? We don't want to. Don't take the. We're not gonna put cuffs in the front, and then you start acting. Listen,
I'm not running. I can't run nowhere.
we're not. I'm just letting you know. Just be cool, okay?
Yeah. Well, niece is right here, but I don't feel wipe myself.
There's other stuff in your bag.
Yeah. Those two we had down here.
I only have one phone. I have a gold phone.
Okay. Yeah.
The other phones are my family members. Should use them.
That's fine. But you'll have your phone, and you'll be able to get contacts out of your phone and make phone calls on it.
No, I'm saying that shit. The phones, though. All the other old phones.
Now listen,
All the other old phones are up there. They're right here.
those right there. Is that what you're talking about right here?
Yeah, but no, he had another black phone, and my blue phone's missing too. He had another black phone. He had my gold phone and an all black phone. Do you know where they at?
I have the gold
My
phone.
gold phone?
I have that other one.
Yeah, can you give me the other one? And the blue one, I'm missing the blue one too.
I don't know about that one.
The other black phone, that was on and powered on. That's coming with us as well.
Where?
We'll talk about it later.
All right, man, go ahead. All right, so start everything from basement. Floor's got everything in that room you got. The only thing.
The stolen paperwork.
Okay, I have the mag that goes to that gun.
Okay. And I've got 40 cal ammo that was in this thing here, and a box of weed that was in this bedroom.
Okay. And I think somebody said they had the box of, or the ammo that was in the basement. Did that stay there?
No. Floor is
They had,
good.
okay. I put the other
I
gun.
have that. It's in the
Okay.
truck.
The other gun
Yeah,
I put back in the closet
That's what it is.
in the bag. So, all right, I'm gonna tell Grandma that we're leaving. Oh, she's out there. Okay, so Grandma, you're in charge of the house right now while Mom's gone, right? Okay, so we're done. We're leaving. He's gonna go to Grundy County Sheriff's Office with us.
Okay.
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 Any questions for me?
Nope.
No? Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
You know how soon I'm gonna hear from him?
A couple hours, he'll be able to make a phone call.
Yeah, he said
Are you on the phone with Mom? With
Yeah.
Kim?
Yeah.
Does Kim have any questions for me?
Yeah.
Mom, do you have any questions for them? She said no.
No? Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now to the grades. The officer receives a B+. Miranda was read in full and documented on camera. Evidence was photographed before being moved, reflecting proper chain of custody procedure. De-escalation throughout Pouncey's verbal confrontation was measured and professional, and the sergeant was called when the scale of the discovery warranted supervisory escalation. The grade falls below an A for one reason at the 1 minute 52 mark. Pouncey's hands were uncontrolled in a residence where 2 firearms had already been located. That is a safety protocol failure in a high-threat environment. Nicholas Pouncey receives a C. He did not physically resist and created no use of force incident. He raised a third-party access defense that his attorney will likely pursue at trial. However, his decision to keep speaking after Miranda generated a detailed on-camera statement covering the co-defendant, the drug timeline, and his residency, all without counsel present. The Fifth Amendment gave him the right to silence. He did not invoke it, and the prosecution now has a recorded narrative to work with. Illinois DOC parole receives an A-. The compliance check was lawfully authorized, professionally executed, and resulted in a legally defensible arrest. The no bond revocation warrant under 730 ILCS 5339 was issued appropriately. The supervision system functioned as designed. The grade falls short of an A because the volume and sophistication of what was found raises a reasonable question about whether prior compliance visits to this address were sufficiently thorough. 3 takeaways from this footage. First, parole status resets the Fourth Amendment entirely. Warrantless entry, warrantless search, and warrantless device access are all lawful under a valid parole agreement. Second, Miranda is a tool, not a formality. When rights are read, the only legally safe response is "I want an attorney." Everything said beyond that is evidence the state did not need to work to collect. Third, constructive possession does not require eyewitness testimony. A diploma next to the stash, a matching pill bottle in the bedroom, and physical proximity in a space under the defendant's control are the building blocks of a conviction. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching.